Live from the Tickscape Studios. Let's f***ing go.
Oh, what is up? Welcome to LFG here on our streaming YouTube channel, Twitter, Facebook, wherever you're catching the show. Dave Binns, Matt Fowler, Drew Goldfarb joining us from Vegas, and also in Las Vegas is the fantastic associate producer of the show, Bisa. And guys, good to have the gang back together. And we will get into some news about the long-term trajectory for the show a little bit later, because one of us got a real job. We'll get into that a little bit later. He's going to need that job to pay off some of the debt that he's got going on. Matt Fowler with the sandwich debt, which continues to grow, which, by the way, I don't want to get right into that. We'll tease it for a little bit later. But, Matt, I did see a news headline come across as I was trying to work out the ghost in the machine on some of my technical errors that now the sentencing for Trump's trial has been delayed again until after the election. So I think your sandwich debt is going to grow, man. Trump is not going to be spending a day in jail. Is there
like sandwich welfare programs that I can get on or something? Is there, I don't know, man. This is kind of insurmountable at this point, but just like every gambler says, as long as you just let me keep chasing it, eventually I'll get it all back, right? That's how it all works.
Yeah, well, Drew, nobody knows about gambling more than Drew Goldfarb, who is our Las Vegas betting analyst. And Drew, the NFL is here, man. It's thank God. Let me get a little sounder for that. After I took so much effort to get the sounders working for this show.
Well, and Dave, hang on 1 second. Drew needs his proper intro, so hang on 1 second here.
Oh.
Hang on.
I've got it. If you don't, I've got it ready.
I got it.
Vegas sets the numbers. He stays up all night dissecting them.
The Gambletron 2000 says the winner is...
LFG welcomes sports betting analyst Drew Goldfarb.
There we go.
Yeah. Good to be back. Nice to hear that for the first time in about a month.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, let's get the update on you, Drew. You had to take a little time off to take care of some things. How are things, and what's the status for you?
I'm feeling good. This is the first time I've done anything on camera since before I had a surgery. Apparently, I had broken my nose when I was learning how to walk, which I did not know until I had seen a bunch of doctors and told my mom, like, wow, the doctor is convinced I broke my nose at some point, but I've never broken my nose. I had 3 stitches as a kid, but never broke my nose. And she paused and goes, Brett, do you remember that time when he was learning? Suddenly, apparently, we realized that when I was learning to walk, I fell forward and landed nose first on my dad's knee, and that apparently caused that issue. But it's been corrected. I'm still in a bit of the recovery window, so like I can't blow my nose like a normal human being for another 2.5 weeks. But aside from that, it's all is good. Laughing no longer hurts my face like it did for the first few days after that surgery. 6 hours, by the way, under anesthesia. So that was quite long. It took me about 2 weeks to shake that. So that was.
Were you having? Did you have trouble breathing through your nose? Was there a deviated septum?
Yeah, basically there was a massive deviation on this side that just like they used the camera and they got like an inch up my nose and were like, "You broke your nose at some point, right?" And I was like. So, but yeah, so I had they referred to it as a functional rhinoplasty and septoplasty to basically restore breathing functionality. So I'm very much excited I think it's about 2 weeks from now that I'm able to go back to playing beer league hockey. And I'm looking forward to not having to breathe through my mouth after my first warm up or shift of the game, as I've had to do for the last however many years.
Okay, the ultimate question that is probably worth $1 million is, was it classified as a necessary surgery as far as the insurance company was concerned? Medically necessary?
Yeah, it was about a year-long process to get everything approved because I had to go through a bunch of... They knew exactly what the issue was as soon as I went to the specialist, who ended up being my surgeon. But there had to be like a line of, yes, we tried allergy medicine, we tried the like saline wash stuff, like it's medically necessary. So yeah, thankfully, because otherwise I think that would have been like a $10,000 surgery, and I could not have paid that out of pocket.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into specifics, but let's just say I I was supposed to go for something that was supposed to be routine as part of my, regular annual exam, and I had to postpone it indefinitely, and now I'm in that same battle. I'm like waiting for, to get approval from the insurance company that this is not just a matter of, that it gets classified right, so they're going to cover it. Because right now they're telling me, oh no, this is going to get, you're going to be, it's going to cost you $1,900 for something that should be free. I'm like, yeah, and it's not like anything imperative. I'm not, but it's something my doctor wants me to go do, but I'm not going to go do it if it's going to cost me $1,900. Like, you know. So
I have a second surgery I have to have at some point, but I'm putting it off till early next year because I've got When We Were Young with the Elder Emo Concert Festival in mid-October. My sister's getting married in early November. I'm getting married Christmas Eve, and then a honeymoon in February. And it's an ankle surgery where I'm going to be.
That's breaking news. I didn't know that there was a Christmas Eve date set for the for the Gold Farm wedding.
Yeah, that's coming on Christmas Eve. Just the parents in attendance. It'll be a step between the Vegas, go to the courthouse, do it quick kind of thing. But basically, we wanted pictures, parents, and I have to order a new suit. And that kind of thing.
Are you doing it in Vegas?
Oh yeah. We're booked at the Fontainebleau doing like an in-suite thing, which will be a lot of fun. We have make sure we got a good view with a good room.
So you're going to be a wedding crasher? Beast is like caught up in the music. I don't know if
can she hear us?
I don't know if she can hear us.
Oh my goodness, no, I couldn't.
You're not going to crash a wedding? You're not going to crash it?
No, I couldn't.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm monitoring at the same time, but
okay,
I couldn't. But I would love to buy a happy couple a drink after.
Okay.
Thank you.
There you go. We need to go. I'll just get out to Vegas and get together. Yeah. We need a Vegas get together sooner rather than later. And now it's getting to be like late September, early October. That's a great time to go to Vegas.
Golden Knights opening day is about a month away.
Yeah. So Drew, let's get into it, man. It started last night. The National Football League is back, and boy, what a game we saw last night. The NFL, the game going right down to the very, very end, and decided by a toe. And I saw afterwards that the Baltimore Ravens weren't happy. Matt Fowler, you've got some sound. Is that right?
I do have some sound. So here is, courtesy of Westwood One, Kevin Harlan, the legendary OG, on the call for the end of that Ravens-Chiefs game.
Here we go. 5 seconds left at the Kansas City 10. 3rd and goal. Jackson is in the gun. He's got 3 receivers split. 3 on the line. 6 in the secondary for the Chiefs. Shotgun snap. He moves up in the pocket. Right tackle block. He runs around in a circle. Cocks his arm, throws in the end zone. It's caught in the back of the end zone with the feet down. Likely got it. Touchdown! Touchdown! Touchdown, Baltimore! Likely back of the end zone, and a leap holds it down. And they'll go for 2.
Ruling on the field is a touchdown. The ruling of touchdown.
He caught it. Were his feet in? Oh, one was, and the toe of the other looks like it's on the chalk. Oh, this is close. I think he's out of bounds.
I'm with you, Kevin.
I think he's out of bounds.
So there's the call last night, and that was really. I don't think if you're not wearing a Ravens uniform, I don't know how anybody objectively looks at that review and protests it and says that the Ravens got jobbed. The toe was on the line. The toe was on the line. It's a very clear, defined rule. He might as well have had the foot completely out of bounds. If the toe's touching the line, you're out of bounds. And the video was pretty. How can anybody look at that and say that the video was not conclusive?
I mean, I agree with you. It's kind of fitting. A great call as always from Harlan, but I also, the idea that they threw it to Likely, who they thought had his toe down. I kind of just like the play on words with that. But yeah, no, in looking at, when you see the images, his toe is on the white, and it's pretty cut and dry. It's not like 20 years ago when you could be forced out of bounds and ruled in bounds because a defender interferes with you. It's a very cut and dry rule now, and it has been for a while. So if you don't see green or whatever color the end zone is, depending on the stadium, it's you're out of balance. That's just the way that goes. And you got 4K, 8K cameras now on it, so like they can zoom in and see. Like you have as good of a chance as any of seeing a pixel of green as you have at any point in history.
If you're a wide receiver, why are you not wearing green shoes? I'd be right now marketing green turf shoes.
I think there's probably an NFL regulation to that, but you know what? It makes sense that Lamar Jackson specifically didn't think that it was a touchdown because he clearly needs his eyes checked based on the last two throws before that. So it makes sense because no,
Matt throwing shade. He did miss number 4, whoever that was, wide open in the end zone.
Wide open.
That was unbelievable that he missed him. And I did love that. The one thing, and as I was watching the game, I was thinking to myself, man, I'm not normally a go for 2 kind of guy. Like I think the odds are better to get it into overtime. But I don't know. Sometimes you got to do something based on feel, and I don't know how you guys felt. But watching that game, I just kind of was saying, man, if they score here, they got to go for 2. Like, just you're at the Chiefs. You got a chance. You're gonna have one play to be able to win the game. Why are you gonna you don't want Mahomes coming back on the field?
Yeah, that's exactly it. That when you're on the road, it's just one of those situations where, would you rather play another quarter or another couple possessions on the road, especially a place like Arrowhead, or have one shot from 2 yards out to try and power it in? If that goes for a touchdown, if it's ruled a catch, then going for 2 in that kind of situation makes sense. Because just ask Josh Allen what it means to give Pat Mahomes the ball back in a crucial situation. It's that's kind of ruined
Josh
him
Allen,
in the Buffalo.
you could ask
anybody.
Kyle Shanahan.
You could ask
Yeah,
the Eagles.
yeah.
You could ask literally anybody.
Yeah.
You don't want to give Mahomes the ball back if you don't have to. I've had a concept in my head for what the NFL should do for overtime that's a little wrestling based that I think would kind of alleviate that a little bit, but with the rules in place. Like, no, you don't put the ball back in Patrick Mahomes' hand. You just make sure the game ends with your offense on the field.
Exactly.
Well, they had said, back in the Super Bowl, they had said that Mahomes said that if the 49ers had the ball first and had scored a touchdown, they would have gone for 2 in the Super Bowl had they come back and then scored a touchdown themselves. So that, the Chiefs had that same mentality as well, which I think would have been literally the most ballsy thing ever to do in the Super Bowl ever, but it didn't happen. But it's interesting how strategy affects these things. And speaking of how significant that non-touchdown was, there were a lot of gamblers that were really mad.
Yeah, so I want to ask you about that. Where was the money coming in on that game last night, Drew? And I didn't look to see what the over/under was, but did the points not going on the board affect the over/under?
So at the end of that game, so the Chiefs were favored by 3, and the total was 47. The final score was 27-20. So if you got that line of exactly 47, every bet pushed. So, there's obviously going to be fluctuation depending on where you were looking. But yeah, obviously, regardless of sportsbook, if that touchdown had stood, the over would have paid out across the board. Instead, you have a number of pushes, and then, depending on which 0.5 you got, if you got the 46.5, the 47.5, would have determined it. Because, hey, this is a great example. We are now 1 game into the NFL season, and if you were ever going to question if the sportsbooks know what they're doing when they set lines, look at the totals from this game. The Chiefs were favored by 3 points. They won by 7 and nearly had a game go to OT, or because they would have gone for 2, and by exactly 1 point. So just a wild situation. But again, this is you're never going to get as good of an example as this. Opening night, 1 game, the totals line pushes. Make sure you keep that in mind all season long.
We get another NFL game tonight. The Packers and the Eagles are in Brazil, of all places, to open up the season. That should be a lot of fun.
Yep. And NFL sending 2 green teams to a city that doesn't like green in Brazil. But
wait, well, I don't know about why doesn't Brazil like green?
So it's this particular stadium. The soccer football team that plays there, their arch rival wears green. And there's a situation where during soccer matches, the color green is, from all the reports I've read, is banned at that stadium. So, of course, they send the Green Bay Packers, who wear green and yellow, to face the Philadelphia Eagles, who wear green, black, and silver. The Eagles are actually breaking out a uniform combination that they have never worn before, so that they're not wearing any green except in trim. It's the black helmet, the white jersey, black pants, which they've never done as a combo before. And they're making the Packers wear green. So if you're a Brazilian local and that's your soccer or football team plays in that stadium, just based on the color combination and matchup, you're cheering for Philly tonight.
I'm going to bet there's going to be a lot of actual Packer fans there, man. I mean, I lived in Green Bay, and it's like, not. I don't want to throw shade against Green Bay. I still have some friends there, and I had a great 3 years there, but it's not exactly a hotbed of things to do. And a lot of people there are probably when that schedule came out said, let's go to Brazil. Like that, so there's going to be. I think the Packer fans are going to be well represented there tonight.
No. People in Wisconsin did not look and say, "Let's go to Brazil." They looked and they said, "Oh, that's a Friday game, and that's an excuse to get the drinking going early." That's what they said. No. There are going to be Packer fans that live in Brazil that are going to go to the game. No, nobody's traveling from Green Bay.
I disagree wholeheartedly, man. Packer fans made a road trip for this one. They made a road trip for this one.
No.
Yeah.
Based on what ESPN is showing as far as like the ticket resale, the lowest price to get in right now on the resale market is $872 for tonight's game.
Really?
There isn't another opening weekend game where the minimum price even tops $191. The Bears hosting the Titans is the most expensive U.S. game that has yet to happen as far as a get-in price. That's $191 to see the Bears play the Titans, but Caleb Williams making his NFL debut in that game in Chicago. This game, you get 4 tickets, almost 5 tickets for that Bears-Titans game before you get one for the Eagles and Packers tonight. Obviously, if you're an Eagles fan sitting in Philadelphia or a Packers fan sitting in Wisconsin right now, you're not going, the game is in, 9 hours if I catch a flight to Sao Paulo now and pay $870. So you have to already be there. So that might be slightly misleading with that ticket price.
Yeah, well, the game didn't just suddenly get popped on the schedule. So,
right.
So, Drew, what have you noticed with, week 1 being here? What have you noticed with any, the betting movement? Are there any I always feel like week 1, personally, I'm reticent to really ever wager. I do like a little. I'm not quite the aficionado that Matt Fowler is, but I do like to get a little action once in a while on some games. But I've learned my lesson, man. I generally stay away from week 1 because week 1 I feel like you have no real read of what it's gonna look like, and maybe there's some advantage there. Because maybe the books also struggle with that as much as I personally have found my history to be. So maybe if you do have a tidbit, it might be the week that you can have the most advantage. What's your take on that?
So early on in any season is if you are buying into a team that the general public is not, you are never going to get as good of odds on them as you will in week 1 of the NFL season or the first 5 games for the NHL or NBA. Or the opening week for Major League Baseball. Because if you have a team that you're looking at and you go, I think they're going to be sneaky good, you're going to get them as an underdog this week if they are not projected that way by the general public. So, this is a great opportunity in week 1 if you're going to go underdog. Because I do agree with you. If you're going to go, favorite, if you're that might be a situation where you go, you don't know yet what these teams are going to do. So that's a situation where if you've got a few underdogs that you want to take, that's an opportunity to do it. There's also just going to be, because it's early in the season, you might get some closer lines. Here's an example just for an underdog offhand. The Giants-Vikings is Minnesota minus 1.5. So if you're going without a quarterback, with Kirk Cousins in Atlanta with their rookie hurt, you don't think the Vikings are going to do anything, and you think the Giants might be the less of a disaster of those two teams, you're going to get the Giants at about even money or just above it. I wouldn't take plus 1.5. You literally have to run into a game like last night with that touchdown standing to giving up or adding a 1.5 matter in the slightest. But that's kind of a situation where you might be able to find some teams that you might think work. Dallas is a 2.5-point underdog to Cleveland. So if you're not buying in on the Browns quite as much, taking the Cowboys at plus 100 on the road or thereabout, if I'm looking up, let me grab some odds here for that game just to make sure that I'm actually giving you exactly what it is. The Cowboys are plus 118 in Cleveland. So if you're going, the Dallas Cowboys are going to be a double-digit win team this year, and you don't buy the Browns as having as much success this year, then you're getting Dallas at plus 118. You find 2 games like that, and you split your bet,
Right.
and either of those happens, and you end up making money.
Matt's going to cringe on this, but what are the Jets' money line Monday night?
They're a 4.5-point underdog on ESPN.
Plus 200, something like that.
They're I'm actually in next week already on this one. Give me 1 second to scroll back up. They are plus 180 against San Francisco, or minus 115 if you add 4.5 points. At that point, I would either say I can look up some numbers here and give you something a bit closer. Based off of the computer model, San Francisco wins 63% of the time. And when you're looking at the Niners at minus 215, plug this in, the implied odds are 68.2. So the Jets actually have a decent bit of value at plus 180. Implied odds, let me make sure I'm typing there. Their implied odds are 35.7% at plus 180, and they should win 36.5% of the time. So you do have plus EV taking the Jets' money line. So if you think Aaron Rodgers is going to be 4 years ago Green Bay Aaron Rodgers,
all I know is this. Aaron Rodgers has been waiting a long time to get back on a football field. Aaron Rodgers, this is as healthy and fresh as he's going to be all season long.
You said it.
He's playing back where he grew up. And, oh, yeah, by the way, do you know what Aaron Rodgers' record on Monday Night Football in his career is, Matt Fowler?
No, I don't. I don't care.
He's 10-0. He's 10-0 on Monday Night Football.
Really? Okay, that's a significant tidbit. But you said it, man. You said this is the most healthy that Aaron Rodgers has been. Why did you say that? Now you jinxed it.
Listen. I'm a Niners fan. I want the Niners to win, but
no.
I just think if I'm going to think with my wallet, I would not be shocked to see the Jets pull a Week 1 upset. I would not shock me.
Dave, you missed it. You missed my entire point, man. Last year, opening night, Aaron Rodgers, all the hype, and he tears his ACL in Week 1, and then he's coming back in Week 1. And you're like, this is the healthiest he's been. I don't want to see him get hurt, man. Don't do that. Don't say that he's the most healthiest that he's ever been. Don't do that.
Okay. All right.
I don't want him to get hurt. As a Dolphins fan, I don't want to see the Jets succeed either. But
listen, as an objective, gambler.
10-0 scares me. 10-0 does scare me. I didn't know that stat.
As an objective gambler, I look at Aaron Rodgers 10-0 on Monday Night Football. It's Week 1. He's been out. I think the Jets are going to be pretty decent. You got Saleh coming back to Levi's. He knows the Niners. He knows Kyle Shanahan. I think this one has all the makings of. If I was inclined to make a bet, I think a Jets upset would be where I'd put my money this week.
Rodgers has won 4 of his last 5 games against the 49ers, including winning back-to-back and 3 of his last 4 games in San Francisco in the regular season.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, was that the regular season or postseason?
Regular season. But the thing is that the last time that he played them, he was 37. It was 3 years ago. It was September of 2021. He was playing with the Packers. So the last time Aaron Rodgers played more than, 3 snaps last year? It was his 38-year-old season when he was 38, turning 39 in December. He is now 40, going on 41. There's going to be a spot where you would think, unless he takes that same trajectory as Tom Brady, where he never drops off, typically a quarterback is going to have some kind of dip in production. I don't know that facing the 49ers on the road wearing the same exact uniform he wore last year when he got hurt is the time to do that, but the statistics, the simulations from ESPN suggest if you're going to take a money line, the Jets are the way to go. Like I said, for Week 1, I would be more inclined to go with the team that's paying at plus 100 or above because you're looking to take a chance and hoping to go at least 50% on those wagers. So I wouldn't say I blame you if you wanted to take New York or if you want to take the 49ers minus the points to get closer to even money. Like they're proven to have been the better team so far. Who knows what's going to happen with Rodgers?
All right. Listen,
I'm not starting him in fantasy this week. I'll point that out. I've had him since he was a rookie in my dynasty league, and I'm starting Jordan Love this week. At the moment, I may play around with that a bit, but I'm not starting him.
I like that call. Jordan Love, I think, is going to put on a show tonight. All right, listen, Drew, I don't know how long we have you for today. I don't know what your.
I have a haircut in 20 minutes.
Okay.
So.
Well, okay.
let's get into the important business before we let you go.
Right.
Hold on.
What's a weekend of sports without a little action? And no one craves the action more than gambling degenerate aficionado Matt Fowler. How many sandwiches will he lose this week? It's time for another edition of Being Matt's Bookie.
All right, Matt Fowler. We only have we've got a limited time left on the Being
Great
Matt's
minds,
Bookie,
minds think alike.
segment because we need to have this closed out before you go on to your new career in the world of banking. But before we can do that, we need to, of course, provide the
Sandwich Scoreboard Update.
Okay, so the sandwich scoreboard update right now is, I believe, how many sandwiches do you owe Coase? Is it 24?
Yeah, something like that. I think I can. I think I could be elected president if electoral votes were measured in sandwiches at this point.
I don't
Sandwiches
know how
owed.
this really happened, but your sandwich debt to Coase of like 24, I thought was high. And then somehow now your sandwich debt to me has spiraled to 227 sandwiches, which is.
See, I just need California's electoral votes, and then I'll be good.
It is a
No, you're basically you're like a Pennsylvania away. You just got to start campaigning in like the middle of Pennsylvania here because you're at 251 on the electoral sandwiches. So
yeah, your sandwich debt is out of control. So here's what I'm proposing. Let's see how this plays out this week, and then we'll see how many sandwiches the count's going to be. But I did propose the idea to you last week that I think what we should do is, I'm going to kind of let you off the hook a little bit, man. But I think that we're going to need to come up with a number. We need to pick a charity. And we're going to have a massive sandwich delivery made to a local charity, and be able to do some good here, rather than just have me trying to whip down what probably by next week will be 400 sandwiches.
you could do just a financial contribution to a food bank if you want to do that. That's
that's
food bank or Dave's Choice, and you can pick which food bank you want it to be sent to, and that kind of thing.
All right. Well, that's a good. But it's not as fun as actually seeing sandwiches show up.
Well, I owe like 250 sandwiches, so I could definitely give you a few and then donate some to charity.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that.
Send a couple pizzas for the workers and send a charitable donation.
All right. Well, let's see how this plays out. We'll do one more wager here, Matt, for this week. So, have you put any thought into this? Do you have anything ready? And you
yes,
and you
yes,
can let Drew advise you here.
Well, okay, and because Drew's here, I'm gonna call a special audible because this is gonna be a special bet because we were just talking about it. So. I'm gonna let Drew give the line here because I'm gonna do an alternate. We're gonna do an alternate line which is going to favor Dave but pay off for me if I actually pull it off. So I think the 49ers are going to crush the Green Bay Packers. That's what, the New York Jets. Yeah, the New York Jets.
Rogers' other team.
Yeah. That other whatever. Anyway, see, I don't even know who he plays for anymore. So. Yeah, they're going to crush the Jets. I think they're going to beat them by more than a touchdown. So I'm willing. The Niners are minus 4.5 on the regular line. I'm willing, Dave, to give you 8 points. I'll lay 8 points.
7.5, 8, or 8.5. Are you looking for a push?
Actually, no. I'm looking for. I think the Niners will win by 10, so I'll give you 8.5.
You just say you think they're going to win by 10.
I know, so I'll give you 8.5.
Okay. All right. So 8.5, and you're looking for. What are you looking for on that then? So you're looking for plus odds.
Obviously. So Drew, what would that typically do with an alternate line?
So what you can get right now at from FanDuel is plus 176 if you take the Niners minus 8.5 points. Minus 9.5, by the way, is only plus 190. It's not considerably more. So yeah, and you're basically minus 8.5 is just saying it's more than one score.
Okay, you know what? You know what? We'll change it. I'll go minus 9.5. Just cause that's closer to 10. I said 10, so there you go.
Yeah, so that would be a minimum of 10. It has to be a double-digit win for San Francisco for that to pay off on your end.
Yeah. Okay. And then we'll go. Let's see. We'll go. We'll keep it at plus 180. That's fair.
Plus 190.
Well, right, but but we're being nice to Dave, and he probably won't want to go close to 2-1. So we'll go plus 180. So
plus 180. So you want it? So how what do you want to put up here?
All right. I have to start winning at some point, and in true degenerate fashion. Because we're doing it for charity, right? Like I'm gonna make a donation to a food bank at some point, so it's a good thing. So I'll go 50. I'll go 50 sandwiches.
50 sandwiches at plus 180. Okay,
Wait,
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Which will get
90
me
sandwich return.
They'll get you a 90 sandwich return.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So there's a possibility because we are going to do one more show next week before I embark on my new career.
Yeah,
of
but
course,
we're going to need to settle up next week because we can't just let you walk away with the big amount of sandwich debt. So
we're not going to. Well, hang on.
There's going to be conversations on Tuesday morning.
We're not just going to stop doing shows. It's going to probably be on the weekends.
I understand that, but the show is going to take a little bit of a less defined path. So I think we need to close out our sandwich debts.
All right. Okay. Well, wait. Hang on. If we're closing out our sandwich debt, can I try to make a bet that's going to actually get me totally even at that point? Because come on, you got to let me get even.
A suggestion then, if that's what you want to go, is create a parlay, give up the 8.5 points, not 9.5, and parlay it with something where the Jets find the slightest bit of success, whether that is taking a team over or like Aaron Rodgers to throw a touchdown. You could take an Aaron Rodgers under on touchdowns, but that's not gonna drive the payout up as much.
How about I just parlay it with the game tonight? How's that?
That is an interesting option. So are you going against Aaron Rodgers and his old team at the same time?
Yes. Yes, I will take the. I'll give the. What is it? 2.5.
It is 2.5.
2.5. Okay.
Let's see here. I got to find a sports book that is actually willing to combine those two things. So let's see if we can do on the regular line there. So if you take the...
Well, I mean, couldn't we just plug plus 180 and minus 110 into a parlay calculator and figure that out?
You can. Let's see.
If it comes to plus 227, then you can put up 100 sandwiches, and we can.
Oh, it's going to come to plus 227. I guarantee you that. It's going to come to more than that, but we can make adjustments.
Why don't we? Well, I'm willing to do that if that's what you want to do. What's it come out to, Drew?
According to a quick and dirty one, it says that the parlay is plus 439.
Wow, that's a big plus 439. I like it better at plus 227. So I'll give you plus 227. Right. And I'll tell you what, I'll even be nice. I'll take a point off of the 49ers. I'll take 7.5. 49ers minus 7.5. And I've got the Eagles plus 2.5. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No. According to the same calculator, taking the standard spreads.
No. He doesn't have Eagles plus 2.5 because Eagles. I'm taking the Eagles minus 2.5.
It's the Packers plus 2.5.
Yeah. Right. I get the Packers plus 2.5.
And the Jets plus.
And I'm getting the Jets plus 7.5.
Yeah.
And you're putting up 100. And if you win,
we're even.
You're all square with me. And if you lose, then you're going to owe me 327.
Which means some kids that need some nourishment will get some nourishment.
Okay.
So it'll be all good.
All right. That's all right. I think it's fair. Listen, I would not play this hard and fast with my sandwich bank, except for I realize that if I win, we're basically maybe I'll just say, you know what, I'm just going to have a sandwich a day for a year from Matt Fowler. and I'm just going to set up a daily sandwich delivery service for myself. My lunch.
It's going to be expensive
for a whole year.
I think next week Matt should also build a sandwich using Roll for Sandwich as an inspiration on TikTok. And if you haven't seen that, he basically uses these Dungeons and Dragons dice to roll for each individual portion of a sandwich. And basically we can come up with an idea. It would have to be done ahead of time so you can go get the items that he would need. But essentially the higher the number that he rolls for each item, the better ingredient he gets. So, and then he would have to eat the sandwich during the show next week. He can roll it this weekend. But I think that's a way of knocking his debt down to 300 in the event that he loses.
By the way, speaking of sandwiches, before we let you go, Drew, do you want in on? We predicted the division winners for each division on the show last time out, and we're all putting up 10 sandwiches. Although Co's never ended up being in. So whoever gets the best record on the division winners is going to get the sandwiches. So do you want in? Do you want to put up 10 sandwiches for a chance to win potentially 40 sandwiches? Because I'm going to get Co's picks. So it'll be 10 to win 40.
I may be in for something like that. I have to look a bit closer through all the division winners and see what I get back to.
Send me your division winner picks off air.
Cool.
And we'll put you in. I'll get Bisa to post them online. We'll get Co's as well, and we'll have the final. And we did offer up, by the way, and if you're cool with this, we offered it up out to the audience. If and we'll let people submit all the way up until kickoff on Sunday. So if you feel like you want to wait until after tonight's game and you got two teams that are 1-0 and you feel like that's going to help you, fine. I don't care. But if you can pick all 8 division winners correctly, anybody picks all 8 division winners correctly, we're going to give our sandwiches to them. So otherwise it's going to be between us. Whoever has the best record gets the sandwiches.
Sounds good.
All right, cool. Well, go enjoy that haircut, my friend. It's good to see you. I'm glad you're back. We'll see you next week, and we'll go from there.
Sounds good.
All right.
Have fun, guys.
Drew Goldfarb, not Drew Fowler. Drew Fowler, the play guy in Colorado. Drew Goldfarb, our fantastic betting. Do you know Drew Fowler?
I don't believe I've ever met him,
okay.
but
all right.
there you
Drew
go.
Goldfarb.
Distant cousin.
Yeah, distant cousin. All right, man. Thanks so much, buddy.
Because of a shared first name.
See you, man.
Yeah. Drew Barrymore is also a cousin, apparently. All right.
Drew Barrymore.
Drew Carey.
Yes, that's a better cousin. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Have a good one, guys.
All right, see ya. Drew Goldfarb, he's fantastic. By the way, check him out at dgpicks.com. I forgot to promote his got to promote his website, but he does a great job out on dgpicks.com. And now is the time of year with the NFL underway that he can really help you out. And he just, the way he looks at the numbers and everything, Matt, that's what's so great. It's more than just like, oh, I'm picking, he's not just giving you picks. He's giving you, where you could get value on picks. And listen, at the end of the day, I'm probably not going to go ahead and bet on the Jets on the money line on Monday Night Football because I don't want to be rooting against the 49ers in week 1. But I just think that that's a good value pick, man. I think there's a possibility that the Niners, with all the expectations and all the headlines, I just think there's a chance that they come out and get caught, and get caught on week 1.
I disagree. But that's the great thing about sports is that, we can bench back and forth with all that. And, I think the 49ers, they have a chip on their shoulder because they believe they should have won the Super Bowl last year. And I think this may be, their revenge tour. That I don't see them losing more than 3 games.
So you're saying 14-3?
Yeah.
Wow, Matt Fowler making all the predictions come true here today. I
don't know about come true. We'll see. Fortunately, sometimes with cash, I'm better with gambling than sandwiches, evidently. But I don't gamble on everything that I put sandwiches on. But
all right. Well, listen. Let's take a time out. We're gonna have Matt Fowler Sports Update on the other side, and then we're gonna bring Bisa in. It's time for us to get into the mailbag and also Bisa's trivia segment still ahead for this Friday. And maybe we'll talk a little bit about the games coming up this weekend and what you're looking forward to watch in the NFL. So all that ahead. Stay with us as we continue. Still about 39 minutes to go for this abbreviated edition of LFG.
Y'all ready for this?
What a shot by Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore! is a publicist's dream.
Happy Gilmore. He's been the talk of the course today with his huge drives and his amazing...
Hey, my girlfriend's dead, you know.
Don't worry, I won't tell anyone.
I've heard you've done some really interesting things here.
Hey, who's that?
Shooter McGabb.
You killed a golf legend.
You may be right, but our ratings are up and we're attracting new youthful sponsors. I'm sorry, Shooter. There's nothing I can do.
Guess I'll have to take care of this myself.
He's just threatened by you.
Congratulations, murderer.
You know, I know what you're doing right now, and I don't like it.
Let's do it. Hey.
Okay, we'll go on a date.
You gotta give me a big, fat kiss. You gotta pretend that you like it, too.
How's that nice girlfriend of yours?
Oh, she's dead.
You killed Bob Barker.
I know that, and I'm sorry.
Kick him off the tour.
That might be extreme considering the fact that our ratings were the highest that we've ever had.
I was on this tour for one reason, money. But now I got a new reason.
You're in big trouble, though, pal. I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast. Listen, this call's about business. Anybody I get close to dies. If I were you, I'd run.
Anthony! You got that, baby? It ain't more where that came from, yeah! Shoot down that baby! Oh, my God! Get me out of here! You're gonna die, clown! Stay still!
Happy Gilmore, anything! Oh my God, power failure. It's getting very scary in here.
It's the bottom of the hour, or close enough. Time for your Tickscape Studios Sports Update with Matt Fowler.
Jalen Ramsey and the Miami Dolphins reached an agreement on a 3-year extension worth $24.1 million per year, making Ramsey the highest paid cornerback in NFL history for a second time in his career. And with hours ticking until their self-imposed deadline, the Pittsburgh Steelers secured tight end Pat Freiermuth with a 4-year, $48.4 million deal. For all the latest news, updates, and hot takes, tune in to LFG with Dave Benz, Matt Fowler, myself, Bisa, and the absent Jim Kozimor on LFG.
Fantastically done, Matt Fowler. We teased it. We've talked about it a little bit, but let's talk briefly, Matt, about you getting a real job and going back to the world of the gainfully employed.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Feels good.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Let's.
Little bit of a. Well, I mean, so I will be involved in the world of banking, which is great because it's 8 to 5, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. So that's good. A little backstory on that. It's just, well, basically, I was working for the government before we started this whole LFG thing, and I left the government to do this LFG thing, which has been awesome. But as we've alluded to in the past, sometimes it's not as lucrative as we once had hoped. So for the past 8 months, it's been a little bit of a struggle. So the fact that there will be paychecks being deposited into the bank account is always a nice thing.
And so you're going to be working the 8 to 5 Monday through Friday drill, and you are basically you're suggesting we do our once a week show on weekends. I am not necessarily a favor of doing the show on a weekend, and I'll tell you why. We're in football season now, and the majority of what we will talk about on our show is going to be taking place on a weekend. So, A, we're not going to really have a lot of people that are going to be listening to the show on the weekend. And B, anybody who will go back and re-listen to the show following the weekend, everything we will have talked about will be dated because it will have taken place on the weekend and a lot of stuff will have happened afterwards. So
True.
I'm not necessarily a big. I'm not chomping at the bit for that. So, but you
Well,
are.
the other thing we could do. See, there's a couple of things we could do. We could do it during the week at night. We could tape it like I don't know 6 o'clock Pacific time. I don't know
Problem
how
with that is that
Jim would. Yeah,
that's a co's
yeah.
issue.
Jim would. Well, at some point, my schedule will change after a couple of months, and I will have a day off during the week. So maybe we can reboot it, and during the middle of the season, if that's
You'll have
cool
to get
with
out
everybody.
The calendar
But
of
yeah,
bank
we'll
holidays,
well
and maybe we look at the bank holiday schedule because there are going to be bank holidays.
There's I think there's one in October, and then there's a couple in November, and a couple in December, obviously. Although I don't think we're doing a show on Christmas. Although it'd be kind of cool to do that. But
I'm not doing a show on Christmas, man. Sorry.
We gotta open. We gotta
That's
open
not
presents
happening.
we gotta open presents from Santa Claus. That's how that works. But
okay, well let's get Bisa back in here because Bisa just sent us the letters that she has taken a look at from the mailbag for this week, and we are going to. I think it is time for us to open up this week's LFG mailbag.
We get letters. We get stacks and stacks of letters.
Now, Matt, hi, Bisa. Matt, I haven't looked at any of these letters. Bisa, she sorted through the thousands upon thousands of letters that come into the LFG mailbag each and every week. And so is there one for each of us here, Bisa? There's just one for me and one for Matt.
I did one for you and one for Matt.
Okay. So, Matt, there's one that's addressed specifically to you. So I think probably you should go ahead and read that one.
Yep. That's logical enough. Okay. 1 second. Scrolling. Attention, Matt Fowler. This is future Matt, writing to you from a timeline where sandwich bets have single-handedly brought me, you, us, to financial ruin. It starts small. A bet on the Bears game.
True. It's funny because it's true.
It starts small. A bet on the Bears game, thinking, what harm can one sub do? But soon, you're neck deep in foot-long debts, trading heirlooms for BLTs and giving motivational speeches for grilled cheese. For the love of mayo, avoid sandwich-related wagers this season. Trust me, it's not worth selling your couch for a Reuben sandwich. Best future Matt, currently surviving on PB&J's. P.S. Invest in Tupperware. You'll thank me later. Sincerely, Pete Rose?
No, that was future Matt. That was from you.
That can't be future me. Maybe I don't know. I mean, maybe Pete Rose had the idea with future me.
From future Matt.
I don't know.
That's you. That's advice to yourself. By the way, that could be a whole topic in and of itself. What advice?
Wouldn't it be ironic if I ended up winning right before we take this hiatus? Well, of course, there will be a show next week, everybody. There will be one show next week, but wouldn't it be ironic if I cleared all the debt? Or why? I mean, I guess technically I'd still owe, I think, 25 sandwiches to Coast, but I'll take that.
Or you could owe me $327, and I'll have won the Electoral College. So there's that. And you're still gonna owe me the other 100 with Trump never going to jail. But with that's not.
No. Well, wait. Didn't we put that in? Oh wait, no, we didn't put that. Ah, shit. Okay. Well, we can settle that at another time.
The bottom line is this with the whole Trump thing. I don't want to get into politics, but at the end of the day, first-time offender on a white-collar crime, he's going to be probably 80 by the time they sentence him, and 80% of the people who've had the same convictions have never gone to jail. That's all I'm looking at. Forget everything else. That's all the court is going to look at. And
I mean, but the other thing then, if he wins. And
if he wins, he's not going to jail.
Yeah, no. If he wins, if he wins, it just goes away entirely.
I think it's highly unlikely that I'm losing that bet. Anyway, let's get to the other remaining letter in the mailbag. Dear LFG, it's Caleb Williams here. Yeah, that Caleb. I just can't win that Bill Belichick isn't impressed with my preseason work with the Bears. I mean, Bill, really? The man once smirked for 0.7 seconds during a press conference, and we're supposed to know how he feels? So here's my question to you guys at LFG. Why does Bill look at my highlights like I'm a bad cup of coffee? Is it because I'm not running the option with 6 tight ends? Or maybe it's the lack of weathered hoodies in my game day attire? I'd love your thoughts because apparently scoring points isn't enough to win over the Belichick glare. Best, Caleb, the guy still trying to crack a Belichick grin. Caleb Williams. Those are a couple of strong letters that Bisa found today, courtesy of the Chat GPT inbox. I have to admit, I've not yet watched any of the Belichick analysis. So that show is officially underway. You're smiling, Matt. Have you watched it?
No, but I'm just thinking, I'm thinking of, I mean, at the end of the day, who has a job in the NFL and who does not have a job in the NFL right now between those two people, technically speaking?
Technically Caleb Williams is getting paid by an NFL team, but
there you go. So technically, I mean, he's right until he proves that he's, not as great of a quarterback. I don't know. I just think that Belichick's great with coaching. I don't think Belichick's analysis is as good as his coaching.
I'm holding off until I actually see real analysis on real games that actually matter. So, that's why I did not watch a lot of preseason. I just wasn't. But last night I sat on my couch. I watched the football game pretty much in its entirety. I had the laptop out and was multitasking a little bit while the game was on. But I had the game on, and I'm ready to be dialed in, man. I'm ready to be dialed in, and I'll watch some Belichick stuff now. It's not preseason anymore, baby. It is regular season football. So before we get into our trivia segment today here, Matt, let's talk a little bit about the weekend ahead and the schedule ahead. Which game are you most excited to watch this weekend on the NFL slate?
Honestly, I mean, I'll give you two answers to that. I'm excited to see the 49ers, but that's every week. So what I'm most excited about is, waking up at about, 9:42 a.m. Pacific time and rolling out of bed, getting some food, and then plopping down and turning on the Red Zone channel and being able to watch football for like 7 straight hours. But specifically within that, though, I probably will flip over to CBS after the not CBS, Fox after the early games to see Tom Brady's broadcasting debut. Cowboys are the Cowboys taking on Cleveland? Is that
Cowboys are taking on Cleveland? Yes, and Brady's on that game. I did not know that. But,
yes.
That should be a heck of a game, regardless of Brady being on it. That's not really a draw for me. I could care less who's calling the games.
Well, right. I mean, it's just interesting.
I'm just more interested in the games themselves. I'll tell you what game I'm looking at. I will check in on the Bears. In fact, I may even just put the Bears game on when it kicks off at 10 just to see Caleb Williams, first a couple of series, just to see how he looks, because I'm very curious. I'm officially an undecided voter when it comes to Caleb Williams. I am officially an undecided voter. I am not ready to say he's overhyped and not worthy of being the number 1 pick. I'm also not convinced that he is going to end this long drought since Sid Luckman for the Bears of having a true franchise quarterback. So the jury is out, but I'm curious to see. And the Titans, that should be a good game. But the game that I'm looking forward to seeing the most is Dolphins-Jaguars.
That'll be
Lawrence in Miami, taking on the Miami Dolphins. I think the Jaguars, they've got, hopes that this is going to be the year that Lawrence is going to kind of crack into that upper echelon of true NFL superstar QBs. The Dolphins have high aspirations. They want to be able to take the division and be able to, unseat the Buffalo Bills as being the team to beat in that division right now. That is going to be a game that's going to have a lot of my attention as well this weekend.
Absolutely. And, it's fun because this kind of sets the tone for all of the, pundits. And really, don't we on the Caleb Williams front, don't we set these first round draft picks up for failure because we just expect so much of them, and it's almost not fair, isn't it? Just based on, I mean, kids coming out of USC, he did really well, but you don't know how any quarterback's going to do in the NFL when he starts.
The whole preseason thing doesn't matter. By the way, can I?
No.
Speaking of preseason and training camp and all that, last week I went into San Francisco along with Emily. She was in town, and we rode to Chase Center on bikes to go meet Ray Ritter for lunch, and the fantastic Ray Ritter.
Nice.
Yeah. And while we were at lunch, I noticed on the TVs that were in the restaurant that they had on like their afternoon, talking head show, talking about 49ers training camp. And they had a live report that Brock Purdy had thrown 2 interceptions in practice that day, and a third had been dropped. And
they had a live report that Purdy had thrown 2 interceptions.
And then they were talking about, should we be concerned? And I'm like,
oh my God.
I'm like, this has gotten ridiculous. Like, okay,
that's insane.
Like, first of all, you have no idea. Like, training camp is where you're supposed to throw the interceptions. Maybe you're trying something. Maybe you're like, let me see if I can do this. Let me see if you don't know what the intent on every play in training camp is in a practice is not to necessarily. It's like in spring training baseball. You'll see a pitcher, you'll see Justin Verlander or, Paul Skeens, who's now the it thing, you're Garrett Cole for the Yankees. You'll see them in a spring training start go out and they throw 1 1/3 and they give up 6 runs on 8 hits and they've gotten absolutely rocked. And you're not going to sit there and be like, oh, my God, this is going to be a terrible season. No, it's like Garrett Cole was going out and he's working on his split-finger fastball, and he's, and he's throwing every pitch he's throwing is a split-finger fastball because he doesn't care if it gets hit over the fence. He wants to get a feel for throwing that split-finger fastball. It's like, give me a break. How is this news?
It's not news, but as you know, anything – we don't like building people up here in America and the NFL.
Are people watching that's stupid? Okay.
No.
Like,
yes.
are people watching
yes.
that really saying, "Oh my goodness, Purdy's going to be terrible because he threw 2 interceptions and had a third dropped it"?
Yes. You know why? You know why? Because those same people are the same people that think that Dak Prescott's going to lead the Dallas Cowboys to the promised land, and their advocates paying him $40 million. The same people. So yes, to answer your question, the people are that dumb. And I don't understand why we're not allowed to say that. I mean, I just did, so sue me. But I don't understand why we can't criticize the people that deserve criticism and then criticize the people that are criticizing said people for people that don't deserve criticism. I mean, I know that's a tongue twister, but it gets annoying to me because, somebody like Purdy, all he's done is good things. Yeah, he might not have won the Super Bowl yet, but all he's done is good things. And you're like you were saying, Deb, you're really, oh my God, he threw 2 interceptions in training camp. Like, really? That seems a little bit, you're a little bit high strung. But I understand you want to be sad about your Cowboys not making it for the 29th time since 95. They haven't done anything since 1995, right?
That's correct. Larry Brown Super Bowl when he had 2 interceptions and was the Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, back when they had landlines in the press box.
they did have. They still may have landlines in the press box. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if there are. Bisa did send an amazing amount of content prior to our show today. I'm trying to go back to find what she had a good topic that was NFL related for us. And now I'm having a Bisa. What was your NFL topic you sent this morning that got lost in the shuffle with all the amazing other stuff you sent us?
I had 2. So the first was well, you guys kind of talked about it, like what whose fan base is travels, and the other one is who has the best throwback jerseys.
Oh yeah, see, but I don't have a look at all the throwback jerseys, so that's tough for me to. But I will say, like, I think the the Steelers and the Packers have some great throwback jerseys. Just going off of my memory, I think that they've got some great throwback jerseys. Matt, is there anything that comes to mind for you for that?
No, I mean, I'm not really a jersey guy. I've never been a jersey collector. I have my fair share of jerseys that I pick up at games or whatever, but I'm not a collector by any means, and so I wouldn't be the person with that. But the fans that travel the most are the best. I would say, I think Pittsburgh is probably up there, the Steelers. In terms of any fans ever, like, I mean, I know San Francisco Giants fans travel really well.
San Francisco Giants fans? You mean 49ers?
No. Well, no, I mean, you said team, not necessarily NFL.
Oh.
You know. No, I mean, well, yeah, that too. 49ers fans travel well too. But I've just noticed in baseball that Giants fans have traveled well. But yeah, 49er fans, any team that's good usually has fans that travel. It's I
think the northern teams have fans travel more than the southern teams. Because if you're already living in Vegas or you're living in LA or you're living in Miami, are you really going to travel to go to see a game in Buffalo in January? I mean, maybe if it's a huge game, sure.
Well, but it's a playoff game, yeah.
There's outliers for sure. But I would just say not normally. You're not normally going to do that. So I think but people are more likely to be like, hey, if you're in Buffalo and the Bills are playing the Dolphins, at the end of December in Miami, you're more likely to be like, hey, let's go down to Miami to check out a game. That's what I think.
Yeah.
All right,
no, true.
We got about 17 minutes left in the show, and I do need to be off promptly at the top of the hour today because I've got something to do with the museum show that I work on as my side gig, and I've got a Zoom call at the top of the hour involving that. So we need to get into our weekly BISA trivia segment. So BISA, what is our trivia segment going to be today?
Oh wait, where's my music? I like my little music.
There you go. You got it right there.
Well, I was really thinking because like this is our little game show, and it hit me. What are the top game shows of all time?
Oh, I love it. Yes.
So we're gonna do the top 10 just of all time. Doesn't matter if they're current, if they're old, if they've changed, just all time.
And where are these rankings from? Where are we getting these from?
This is officially from ranker.com. They actually had out of the top 110, but
so we're saying the top 10 game shows of all time.
Yeah.
And okay, how should we do this? Should we see who can get more between Matt and I, or should Matt and I just team up to try to see what's the criteria? How should we do this today?
I mean, I think you both got it. So I'd say, who has the most.
All right, let's
now,
see. Okay.
Now, you said this is top 10?
Okay, how many strikes? Let's say we get 5 strikes.
5 strikes.
We get 5. We'll be collective here, Matt. We'll get 5 strikes. Matt,
okay.
If you got something, Matt, that you think is definitively on the list, go for it.
Got to go with Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Number 5.
Wow. I thought that was going to be a buzzer sound. I had the buzzer sound effect ready for that one. All right, where's my ding? There you go. Matt gets a ding. I got to go Wheel of Fortune.
Number 4.
All right.
Wait, and are we going, is this top 10 or top 5?
Top 10.
Top 10.
Okay. Got to go Price is Right.
2.
I don't know if this one's going to be on there, but how about the Newlywed Game?
No, not top 10.
That one was fun.
Let's see. Jeopardy.
Number 1.
All right, so we got
There
Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune, Price is Right, and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
There are, this sounds like a stupid question, but there are really classic past game shows on there, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. Let's see. 21.
Not top 10.
Oh, they made a movie about it. Come on.
God, what is the one? What was it called? I don't remember the name of it. There was a show, I remember Ray Nitschke was on it, where like they would go and they would sit down 3 people and you could ask questions. And you could guess like will the real so-and-so stand up? That's where the real Slim Shady line came from.
Will the real Slim Shady please stand up?
It's from a game show. It's from a game show, and they would say, okay, will the real so-and-so stand up? But I can't remember what they called that show. I can't remember what they called it.
We have 2 strikes.
We have 2 strikes, and we've got 4 right. All right, let's go with what's the one with no whammies? No, press your luck. No whammies.
No, not top 10.
Oh man, killing me.
This is harder than I thought. We got 3 strikes already.
I know. Let's see. What's the one? To tell the truth.
That's the one I was thinking of. To tell the truth.
Not top 10.
Oh man, we got 4 strikes.
Okay.
We might have to buy some. We might have to phone.
Yeah.
Can
we
some strikes here?
Can we buy some strikes?
Can we buy some strikes? What about? Oh, well, I don't know. Do these count as game shows? I'm going to ask you a question. Okay, that will be big. Is American Idol considered a game show?
No.
No, that's reality.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, same thing with like Dancing with the Stars. With that, I mean, so game show is more of a quiz show, right?
Well, I guess, yeah.
Okay. God, what other game shows, man? Oh, was there one concentration? Is that just a home game? I'm really at a loss here, Matt. What else, man? What else you got?
Well, there's the. I mean, I can think of a few with like Chuck Woolery, like Greed. You know?
The dating game.
Yeah, take the dating game.
Not top 10.
No, what about Greed?
Nope.
Oh.
All right.
Oh, wait. I got one. I can't believe I didn't think of it earlier. Family Feud.
Duh.
Number 3.
Now wait, is that the current Steve Harvey version, or is that the old version?
It don't matter. It's number 3.
By the way, have you ever watched the old ones? Like, what's his name? What was the dude's name? Who was the old host? Richard something. The original host of Family Feud. He was like kissing everybody on the lips. It was crazy. It was creepy, actually. If you go back and watch it, like he's like, "Oh, give me some." Like, I was watching one where it was like Celebrity Family Feud. And I was watching it on YouTube.
Oh,
and they had
God.
the cast of Gilligan's Island on.
No.
And he walks up to Marion and he's like, "Oh, like, give me a kiss." Like, it's just like, wow, just really bizarre. Just really bizarre.
Yeah,
anyway,
don't.
Okay, Matt. What else do we got? What do we have? We have 6 out of 10.
Yeah. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 5 out of 10.
So we've got the top 5.
Okay, well, we're just going rogue at this point because we've gotten way more than 5 wrong. Okay, can you give a little bit of a hint, like, I don't know, what time period maybe? Because these are hard. Wait, The Weakest Link.
Not top 10.
What?
Oh, I got one. Speaking of old, what was the one where they had to like eat crazy stuff?
Fear Factor.
Fear Factor.
It's not in the top 10, but now I'm wondering if it would be on the list. I'm gonna look. Do you guys just want me to tell you the last 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we got to get MF too.
So number 10, Let's Make a Deal.
Oh, yeah,
Number 9, Password. 8, Pyramid.
Oh,
7,
Pyramid.
Match Game. 6, Hollywood Squares.
Okay.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
jeez.
used to watch all those shows. I watched all of them, but yeah.
Yeah,
I
Dave's
forgot about
old.
all of them.
Yeah, Dave's old. Everybody.
I am old. All right, time for the big finish, Matt Fowler. Bisa, that's great. Bisa, you stick around because I have a feeling I'll need your help here on Get MF'd. Matt, are you rolling the open?
Why don't you roll the open? I got the.
All right, let me see if I have it available. I do not have Get MF'd on my list here, so I mean I could call it up. I thought.
Oh
you
no,
were
I got it.
Okay.
I got it. Yeah, it'll just take me give me just one. So here we go.
Matt Fowler may be congenial producer by day, but in this segment, he's ditching the nice guy routine. time to get MF'd.
Yeah, it's about that time. All right, so funny things happen, and people try to get away with a lot of things in life. And apparently, some people that have sold some product that makes you forget your troubles in the form of some green plants. Ohio regulators have told marijuana sellers they can't give out food from an ice cream truck. I don't know how exactly those two are related. It says handing out food and drinks from an ice cream truck is off limits for marijuana businesses in Ohio.
So, can we go ahead and assume that these are marijuana THC infused treats and drinks?
I would assume that. I'm looking to see if it's
so that's what. So what's the problem? What's the question here? Because this sounds completely reasonable to me. I would not want an ice cream truck pulling up to my neighborhood that is selling THC infused products, and I'm hearing the ice cream truck music, and I've got my excited 6-year-old asking me why can't I go down and get an ice cream.
Well, your excited 6-year-old's about to be a lot more hungry if he gets that ice cream.
Okay.
So my question, Dave, have you ever ingested a product that has some special product within it that you did not realize? Has that ever happened?
It's a loaded question. I will say yes, and we'll leave it at that.
Oh man, we can't.
There's no way that story is going anywhere other than I will say yes, and we will leave it at that.
Well, I will say that I have a family that they've pulled a lot of pranks in their day, and this one didn't have anything to do with that sort of substance. But at one point, my uncle thought it was a really good idea they went to Catholic school with the nuns, and he thought it was a really good idea to put laxatives in the nuns' brownies.
No, come on.
No, seriously.
That's the oldest. That's the oldest conspiracy. I remember when you're in grammar school joking about that. Hey, let's make a tray of brownies and bring them in to give them to all the kids. We'll put laxatives in them.
No, but they actually did that though. Apparently, according to them.
And what happened?
People, well, they were not very happy about that, and I think my uncle got suspended, maybe, or I'm not sure what happened. I do know that if you did that today, you'd probably get arrested. I will say that.
Yeah, it's not cool, man. Spiking somebody's food with anything is not cool. I'm sorry.
Cool. Not cool.
I have one.
Okay, what do you got, Pisa? I love it.
But I technically did it to myself. So I like to bake. Let's leave it there. So I was making some cookies, and at the same time, someone who else was there with me was making regular cookies. Don't know how, but things got crossed, and I was eating the cookies that were special and not realizing it. And I ate about, I ate the whole dozen before. I don't remember how, but it was only after the dozen. Hey, those were those cookies. And I had a very good 48 hours.
48 hours. Wow. I will go ahead, Matt.
I do remember one time involving myself. I remember me and my friend were 15 years old, and we went. And this is an unorthodox way to do this. We went to the movies. Okay, now I think this is 2006, 2007. Superbad had just come out. Classic, right? So Superbad just came out. So we went to the movies, but it's R-rated, right? So we couldn't see it. Or I mean, my parents would have bought us tickets, but they were off doing something. So we decided to sneak in, right? So we snuck in, and we're sitting there, and somebody in the back of the theater is smoking some really good stuff. And it's hotboxing the whole place, right? And the movie's hilarious, as we all know. And it's 2 hours long. So we're laughing and inhaling and laughing and inhaling. And by the end of it, we walk out and we're like, Man, we're hungry. Where, where can we get some? And I had like $50. I bought $50 worth of Reese's peanut butter cups. Because
$50 worth in 2006. That's a lot of Reese's peanut butter cups,
well,
man.
yeah, but it is. Well, hang on, but it is movie theater prices though.
Still,
so.
that 20 years ago. Okay, I'll tell you one piece as a baker. This is not quite as good as your guys' stories, but it's the only thing that's coming to mind that I'm willing to offer up. I'm not a fantastic chef, and I do remember one time I tried to make meatloaf, and I like made it from scratch, and I got a good recipe, and I was doing it, blah blah blah. It called for 4 teaspoons of salt. And I put in 4 tablespoons of salt. It was, needless to say, it ended up in the trash. It was not. It was not good. It was not good.
Oh my god.
There was no saving that. I was like, oh yeah, I may have messed that up. So yeah, good times. By the way, how many teaspoons are in a tablespoon?
2? Wait.
No, it got to be more. Is it 4? Teaspoon's pretty small.
I'm trying to picture spoons. I think it's 4.
I think 4 sounds about right. So that means I used 4 times the amount of salt I was supposed to use, which was not good. I don't love salt. Anyway, all right, so the big news is going to be, Matt Fowler, you need the Eagles to win by a field goal or more tonight. And that'll get you halfway home, and then you need the Niners to win by more than a touchdown.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll figure out what we're going to do with the 327 sandwiches on Tuesday.
All right. Well, I just think that we've had a good run with everything that we're doing, and it's going to continue, but it'll change in the next couple of weeks. But we'll be back next week for the final show in this current iteration before I start making actual money. So that'll be good.
All right, perfect. All right, Bisa, it's been fun. Thanks to our great friend Drew Goldfarb. Check him out at dgpicks.com for being a part of the show. And don't forget, Bisa, if you want to send out the I don't know if you already did. If you want to resend out our division winners tweet, I'll retweet that so you got a chance to get in. And we will see you guys next week. Enjoy week 1, everybody. Peace out.